This video highlights the steps taken by the 4K Math Committee in the Wausau School District to expand our I CAN learning targets. First, a little history. During the 2014-2015 school year, I CAN statements were developed with the help of the district math specialists. These I CAN statements were all aligned to the Happily Ever After literacy curriculum and the Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards. In 2016-2017, we as a group identified a need for some more materials that allowed us to target math during hands-on activities. Then, in 2017 and 2018, we identified that we needed more assessment focused on early numeracy knowledge. Our work in developing early mathematical knowledge didn't end there. We identified through our data that we needed more professional development focused on the big ideas in early mathematics. So in 2018-2019, we did a book study focused on Erickson Institute's work. Then in 2019 and 2020, we received professional development from the Wisconsin Mathematics Institute. This focused on the early learning trajectories in early mathematics. This also helped us realize that we needed to continue to expand our early learning targets and that our focus on rote counting and recall of numbers was not covering the foundational math skills needed for long-term mathematical success. From our professional development, we identified as a group that we needed to increase our early learning targets as well as adjust our report card language. So during the 2020-2021 school year, a 4K Math Committee met weekly during December, January, February, and March and April to work on expanding our I CAN statements, adjusting our report card, and focusing on the critical elements needed to form a foundation of strong early mathematical thinking. The goal of the committee was to review and revise and create new I CAN statements. Our hope was that we could shift our focus from rote skills such as counting and recognizing numbers to have our I CAN statements better reflect the math trajectories and needs of our early learners. The work of the Math Committee was centered around the resources and tools of the current scope and sequence, the Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards, and the Learning and Teaching Early Mathematics, or the Learning Trajectory Approach book by Doug Clement and Julie Sarama. These served as critical tools throughout all of the work done by the committee. Over the many times that we met, the committee took key steps in expanding the 4K I CAN statements. The first step was to review the current I CAN statements and look at those in comparison to the learning trajectories or areas of development. We looked over each unit, each I CAN statement, and broke that down by the learning trajectory area, and then began to analyze and look. Were there common trends? Identifying factors, areas that were missing. The group found that we were heavy on verbal and object counting and had many repeating I CAN statements. We also found that we were missing several areas of development in our current I CAN statements, and that further confirmed that we need to expand our learning targets. After analyzing our current I CAN statements, we used the Learning and Teaching Early Math, the Learning Trajectory Approach book to go through each learning trajectory and draft I CAN statements across each area. During the committee work, there were many conversations around how to clarify the expectations for both learners and teachers. The current drafted ICANN statements reflect work and efforts to deepen the learning for our 4K students in early mathematics. It includes 7 areas or 7 trajectories of development. Our work is ready for further review. We will take it now to our colleagues to review the drafted ICANN statements, ask questions, look for clarification, seek additional information, and then work to finalize our drafted ICANN statements.